What is up, guys? Hope you like that new song. I have like 15 of them, and I'm just gonna bounce around because sometimes I get bored.
If I had to rate it compared to our other one, it's not as good. It's alright, but the other one, bro, the other one slaps.
I have like a dark one that I'll probably play on the outro. That's like a slower but darker old retro wave song.
Y'all better be staying towards the end so you can hear this new music Declan's been cooking up with AI. Let's go.
Oh man, I haven't been making. I can't take that. The AI does make it, but I've just been finding them online. So
okay.
I just keep my eyeballs peeled all the time.
You mean your earballs?
Or I guess my earballs. Yeah, that's what these are, right? Your earballs.
Is that what they call it? We went to college. We graduated. We're intelligent people.
There are no intelligent life forms here.
There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. Welcome to the Practically Reality Podcast, everybody. You're in for a real treat because apparently we're all
one of those days.
Oh man, guys, haven't enjoyed the show before. My name is Garrett. I'm also known as Garrett the Gamer, but I feel like more people know me as Breadbox. And this is Declan. He does a bunch of awesome stuff in augmented reality, and we get together and talk about gaming, tech, and anything that is practically reality. That's what we're doing. So,
heck yeah, dude.
Welcome.
How you been?
New state of matter. Ooh, cool guy in chat. And if you're catching us live, guys, you can ask us questions. If you got stuff you want us to talk about today, we are definitely taking a look at the chat today because we were hoping to talk to one of the lead devs on Self VR today, but because GDC is next week, he's trying to get
Garrett's making him work.
Yeah. He's gonna be gone all next week at GDC, so we're like, I kind of need some stuff to get done. But yeah, no. So we'll talk to Churchill. Y'all know Churchill. We'll talk to him soon. But yeah, man. Hey, Ben.
I was good. We're a little bit late this week, if you guys can't tell. Both Garrett and I had some things going on yesterday. I went down to Houston, went to the rodeo, spent a little bit of time touching some grass.
Get some barbecue, dude. Just get some barbecue.
Some cow poop. Dude, I live in Texas now, man. I get barbecue all the freaking time.
Oh, I miss barbecue. I miss good barbecue.
It was fun, though. I love the rodeo. I have a 2-year-old, and she is, like, I guess she's a farm girl. I didn't know that. She loves cows. She loves everything. She just wanted to be on there the whole time. The whole time she had her cowgirl hat. She's like, woohoo! With a lasso. She had her boots and bell bottoms on and was so into the rodeo.
Yeah, that's what
I'm gonna get her mutton busting. That's one of my goals is get her riding on the back of a sheep.
Yes, mutton busting. Oh my gosh, my family owns a ranch, and every year the little town that the ranch is in, they do like a little mini rodeo, and they do mutton busting. I keep asking my kids, I'm like, you want to try it? I just want to see you try it.
My daughter doesn't have a choice.
You are from Texas. You will act like a Texan.
We got to get some belt buckles in this house.
Freaking love it, dude.
What have you been up to?
I took a trip down to California. I took my kids to Disneyland. And
the other side of the world, dude.
The other side of the world. And I also went to Knott's Berry Farm, which,
cool.
Like, I'm going to put this out there. If y'all haven't been to Knott's Berry Farm, that place slaps. That place is awesome. Like, holy crap, I was so impressed. It's, first and foremost, 10 million times cheaper than Disneyland. So,
yeah,
there's a big win. But, like, the food was good. The actual rides and stuff there were incredible. Like, it was a grand old time. There was a lot of, like, really good stuff for kids. Like, their theme there is they have some kind of agreement with, like, not Peanuts. So they have, like, Charlie Brown and Snoopy and whatnot. My kids loved it. My kids loved it. I was like, this is awesome. Tons of great kid rides. It's like, get your kids into roller coasters and whatnot. Tons of really cool adult rides, like, and no wait time, dude. Like, no waiting. Like, we waited at most like 5 minutes in all the rides. Such a good time. And it closes at a decent hour. We didn't have to stay till freaking midnight to get our money's worth. It was awesome. It was so fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I've never even heard of Knott's Berry Farm before, but I mean, sounds pretty dope. I'll need to check it out.
It's super, super fun. I had a super good time there. And I did this thing. It was the funniest thing. They have this thing there where you get this. It's called the meal pass. And basically every 90 minutes you get a new meal.
What?
So yeah. And it costs, it
Plus
literally
everything
costs
else,
the
dude.
price of 2 meals. If you pay for it, it costs the price of 2 meals. And if you go like right at opening, we got, how many meals did I calculate we got? I think we got like 7 meals that day.
How did you ride rides? I'd throw up.
Oh, dude, it was totally fine.
I'd be vomiting, dude.
So good. It was so good. So
Probably not like carnival food though, right? Like I'm thinking
no,
state
like
fair, like Houston Fair, Houston Rodeo.
probably
It
more like that. It was like, yeah,
deep
like,
fried
yeah.
everything.
So what? Okay, so I got this. The best thing that I tried while I was there is they had these tater tots that they put chicken
Okay.
nuggets on top of and doused it in buffalo ranch, bro. It was
Oh my gosh.
amazing. Oh my gosh,
That
friggin'
sounds
stellar,
so
friggin'
good.
stellar.
I
So,
love tater tots.
dude, tots and nuggets, bro. That was whew, that hit hard. Anyway,
That's
so yeah,
dope.
that's where I was at. And then I am back this week. I am debating on whether or not I'm going to GDC.
Oh, I thought you were.
One of the major events that I was supposed to attend, like one of the social events, got canceled. And I'm like, oh man, that's like
Oh,
the big
really?
thing I do at GDC is I catch up with all of my dev friends. I catch up with a couple of our investors who invested in CLVR and whatnot. And like, that just seems like there's not going to be as much of that this year. So I'm wondering if it's even worth it for me to go out. I'm sending my two head devs. So I'm sending Ben, if you guys know Ben, and then also Churchill. They're going to be
Cool.
there and they're going to go to more of like the GDC stuff, like attending like all the seminars and whatnot. But I'm kind of sitting here like, man, like if the social stuff that I'm supposed to go to isn't really happening, is it worth it for me? So we'll see.
That
I'll
sucks it
keep you
got
posted.
canceled. That's not a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but last minute they're like, "Hey guys, we have to cancel." It was like this big shindig, this big like they call it the XR meetup, and it's a great time to like meet new people in the industry, catch up with old people. It's this great thing. It was hosted by Enver Studios. They're the ones behind like Moto X, and a couple other awesome games. But yeah, last minute they're like, "Yeah, we're not doing that." So I'm like, "Ah man, it's a big bummer." So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. We'll see if I'm here next week or if I'm in San Francisco. Time will tell. Should probably book a flight if I'm gonna go though, because holy crap.
It's gonna get way more expensive.
Oh, dude, I'm just like sitting here like, do I go? Do I not go? And at some point, I'm gonna be like, yeah, probably not. So
More streaming.
more streaming,
It's for the community.
dude. We got to get into our game recommendation because I tried a couple games this week that I like
Okay.
want to play on Steam and I want to
Did you
recommend
play
to
more
people.
than just a shooter?
Yes, I played something new.
Whoa.
I played something new.
That's
Oh
awesome.
my gosh, I'm excited for myself. Good job, Garett. Pat myself on the back. Yeah. Anyway, John, good stuff. And lots of holy crap, a lot of news has happened. We gotta talk through all the stuff that's happened. But before
Yeah.
we do that, we should probably do our wins and losses because that's how we start this thing usually.
For sure. My win has to do with some of the biggest news that I personally saw in the last week.
Okay.
Niantic sold Pokemon Go and its
Whoa.
entire gaming branch for $3.5 billion to Scopely this week. So
Scope?
huge exit. Yeah, I mean, giant, amazing. And they're reinvesting. So they split off Niantic Spatial, which
Right.
is a lot of the software that I use, into its own company.
Okay.
And I think they invested $350 million or something like that from Niantic into Niantic Spatial, which means that there's going to be more funds, I guess, funneling into the software that I'm using all the time. So basically, they sold all their games. That's Monster Hunter, that's Pikmin, that's Pokemon, everything except for their Peridot, or Peridot, whatever, is their like original game that they made for Niantic, but uses the same technology. And then, yeah, they're reinvesting a lot of what they sold into the Niantic like spatial area, which is again like the web XR stuff. So, and then other random thing, Eighth Wall has a Discord now, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I just watched a really interesting video on how to make a worthwhile Discord by this one guy who, like, he said he went and researched a whole bunch of streamer specific Discords.
Yeah.
And he kind of realized that Discord is kind of this funny thing because if you don't have a reason to be in the Discord, it'll die pretty quickly. So something like Niantic would be an awesome Discord to be a part of or Eighth Wall, sorry, because Eighth Wall, there'd be good community, good like instructions and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a part of their Slack for a long time, and I just never felt like Slack was the right platform for like a community building thing.
It's
So
not.
now that we're in the Discord, I've been super active and like trying to really help the community grow there. And I think they opened it up publicly yesterday, and I
Okay.
think we're up to close to 300 members now, which
Wow.
isn't too bad. Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you jump on there, if you want to learn about building web AR on the web, jump into the Eighth Wall Discord, and I will probably see you there, and will probably be annoying because I'm on there all the time.
Hey, they love you for that. I got to shout out like the people in my discords who are there and active and asking people stuff. Like you guys are the
Heck yeah.
best. Shout out to you, like active people. Ah, dude. So, did you see the leaks? This is my W for the week.
Uh oh.
Did you see the new Xbox console leaks? Did you hear anything
No.
about that?
Uh-uh.
This is the end of the console wars is coming.
You
They're
think
gonna
so?
end the oh yes. Because this is crazy. The leaks, which is like a very reliable leaker, leaked all this information about the potential next Xbox consoles, and it looks like they're doing another A/B test of sorts. So
Okay.
the Xbox X and the Xbox Series S was an A/B test. If you guys don't know what an A/B test is, it's basically where you put out two options for consumers to look at, and you see which one gets adopted better. A really good example of this, guys, is when the Oculus Quest released alongside the Rift S. Basically, Oculus was trying to see, do people prefer PC VR or do they prefer wireless? Obviously, wireless went and like won that
Yeah.
totally, and that's like what's been adopted all over the world now, right? But so the next generation of Xbox, according to this leak, is they're working on a handheld. They're working
Okay.
on a handheld device, which is awesome. But the other version that they're working on is potentially essentially what it's going to be is an affordable at-home gaming PC that will run
Sick.
on Windows OS.
That's
So like
cool.
for the price point of what you get in Xbox right now, so like that $500 like price point, they're trying to
Hmm.
essentially make a PC that works as an Xbox for their
So
next generation of consoles.
the console wars are ending, but the PC master race fight is beginning, is what you're telling me.
Kind of like so I've listened to like a lot of interesting people talk about like what this means for the future of like the consoles and whatnot. And the big thing
Yeah.
that people are talking about, and this is what I posted about today, is if the next generation of Xbox is essentially a PC, that means that all Steam games, which works on Windows OS,
Oh,
will be
interesting.
available to Xbox
On your
players,
Xbox. That's
which
crazy.
also means all of the PlayStation exclusives that are available now through Steam will be
Ah,
available to
on
Xbox
Xbox.
players.
There you
So
go. Hey,
that
Nintendo's the
therein
only one holding out, man.
that is the one that would yeah, just Nintendo is the only one that's like hanging out, but you know what? They can do their thing. I love Nintendo. I have nothing bad to say about
Yeah.
that. But like it's so interesting because Xbox has definitely changed their shift in like focus and mindset
Yeah.
to we're no longer a console manufacturer. We're like a publishing, and they've realized like the
Yeah.
money's in the software. It's no longer the hardware. And they're realizing there is a huge market, like I was thinking about this for my friends. Like I have literally considered getting some of my friends a like very low end PC just so I can play some of the Steam games with them that I want to play.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking like, holy crap, if the next generation of Xbox is essentially that,
That's
that's
cool.
perfect.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so many more games that are open to us. It's gonna be such a crazy like platform to be able to get like such a more expansive library and stuff, combined with the already awesome and expansive library that's available through like Xbox Game Pass and whatnot. That's awesome. Like I'm so excited about that possibility.
I respect like their ability to make that hard decision and kind of pivot out of consoles though. Like I don't know. I play a lot on PC. I play almost everything on PC, but I have a PlayStation and like I still love sitting down with the controller, playing on the TV. Like if consoles do go away, I will miss that aspect of it. I hope if the Xbox has a handheld, it has something like the Switch where you can like plug it in. That'd be dope. But I I suck at playing like real competitive games with a controller now. Like playing rivals
Really?
is so hard playing with a controller after playing mouse and keyboard for so long, which is funny because for a while I would plug my controller into my computer and play all the competitive games with the controller. But now, like, I can't play worth a dang if it's not mouse and keyboard. So,
I mean, I feel like that's the better controller to be good at, you
yeah,
know? But I played Call of Duty exclusively on a modified controller. It's called a
Okay.
SCUF controller.
Yeah, yeah,
And I got really, really good at that because when it comes to Call of Duty, like you need a little bit of the aimbot. Like,
yeah,
and by aimbot, I'm not saying the cheats. I'm saying what is it actually called? Everyone's gonna
yeah.
think I'm a
The
cheater now.
auto aim.
Yeah, the auto aim, the sticky reticle. I can't remember what it's freaking called. Gosh dang it. Anyway, I play with that, and it's mostly for the movement. Like movement in Call of Duty is so insane, and it's really hard to master. I tried playing Call of Duty on mouse and keyboard for a while, and I just was not getting good at all, and it was super frustrating. So I just switched back. But yeah, no, I do think though that again, there's lots of people like us who like maybe don't want to make the switch over to mouse and keyboard,
Yeah,
and like they'll keep playing on console. And I think like I've noticed that Steam has put a lot of effort into making it very
like big
visible
picture
which
mode.
games work with and big picture mode. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like they show you which games work with controller, and they've added a lot of functionality to make controllers work with games and stuff like
yeah,
that.
for sure.
And so, yeah, again, I feel like the console wars. It'll be interesting to see how PlayStation fires back on that because I feel like they're kind of stuck in their ways where it's like, oh, we're gonna still be a console. The worst thing they could possibly do is pull all their games off of Steam. Like
Yeah,
that would just be disastrous. But we'll see.
I feel like because a lot of the titles that are exclusive to PlayStation are only like a year exclusive, right? That's kind of how
Yep.
they operate nowadays. So that'd be crazy for them to revert back to full exclusivity. They would have to buy so many more studios because right now they're just publishing those games. I feel like
Yeah.
they're game studios that are making them. I don't feel like the game studios would voluntarily like have a complete exclusivity with PlayStation anymore. That just doesn't seem viable.
It wouldn't make sense. Like speaking
Yeah,
from the position of a game developer, if Sony approached me and they're like, "Hey, like we want you to make games for us," and I'd be like, okay, what are you paying up front? Because
yeah,
unless
exactly.
like you are funding the game from the get go, it makes absolutely zero sense for us to do anything but like be on as many platforms as possible. And I think that's what Xbox has realized. That's what Microsoft has realized.
Hmm.
It's like there's no point of like walling things off anymore. We just need to make it so that we have a software service that can be accessible on as many platforms as possible.
Yeah.
You know, and like they've done a good job with it. I play Xbox Game Pass on my phone all the time. I've also played it on my VR headset. Like that
Hmm.
accessibility to me is awesome. I
Yeah, that's
love that.
way
It's
cool.
so cool. So
Um, I guess I can jump into my let's see loss of the week, and it's
okay.
something I actually sent you halfway through the week. The studio that makes Richie's Plank Experience
Yes.
and Max Mustard, which
Yep.
I've never played Max Mustard. I don't know what that is, but Richie's
It's
Plank
their
Experience is
platformer. It's a
like
VR platformer.
okay. Richie's Plank Experience is like one of the pinnacle early VR games. I feel like it was when you
It's
get a
like
VR headset, you need to get Richie's Plank Experience from like the time that consumer headsets came out. It's just one of the first ways to introduce people into how immersive VR can be, and it just does a fantastic job of that. Those two experiences and all of the things the studio that makes them publish were just pulled from the MetaQuest store with
yep.
no explanation to the community, with no explanation. I mean, the company knows, but they can't talk about it for a while still. So just very very strange that that was pulled off of the store. It's kind of worrying. Like brings back some of the conversations that we had a couple weeks ago about like it's really hard to be able to speak out against some of the practices that Meta has and about some of the things they're doing because like that just happened, they can literally just pull everything off and you can lose your entire revenue source because it's still the dominant force when it comes to VR. So,
I'll be honest. When I saw that, I immediately went and checked my own dashboard to make sure my games were still live. Because, like, again, I do speak out against some of the stuff that Meta is
yeah,
doing. I speak out frequently, and like that was like scary to me to think like, okay, like is it something like that? As far
yeah,
as I can tell, that's not what happened. I did I dove pretty deep on one of the Reddit posts that Toast Interactive posted
okay,
about the thing going down. Uh, according again, this is according to like that Reddit post and some of the comments and stuff I saw there. It sounds like the Meta is citing platform abuse policy. It sounds
yeah.
like they were doing something about the games was using some kind of code or whatever that was in violation of their platform policy, and so like they took it down
Which
after.
is crazy because
Yeah,
let's be honest, when was the last time Richie's Plank experience was probably updated?
Who knows,
Yeah,
right? Like,
so
who knows?
in theory, like legacy VR applications that have been on the store for a long time could be taken down, which is even like more terrifying. You could just get pulled off because some of the code that you've been using forever that your game depends on is now all of a sudden not good enough or not industry standard or you're doing something wrong. So like that's pretty scary too.
Yeah, and like obviously you could tell in the Reddit post because the head guy, I can't remember what his name is. He was definitely commenting as much as he could. He was trying to
Yeah.
interact with his community, which like my hat's off to him. Like guys, definitely go download Richie's Playing Experience on like Steam and stuff. That's a company worth supporting. They've done a
Mhm.
lot for VR. They really have. But it's like you could just tell that he wanted to say more, but I think there's probably some legal processes
Yeah,
in
for
the
sure.
works right now, and so they like just can't be disclosed and whatnot. But yeah, that's scary. Like that is definitely scary because like again, if something I said about Meta and they decided to just pull my games from the platform, that's the majority of our play. Like that's our revenue source for like
Yeah.
90% of what we do. And that would be extremely scary. And like I truly don't know like what we do. But again, like I'm not gonna stop criticizing Meta because I do feel like I criticize them constructively. I
Yeah.
feel like when I bring up criticisms for them, I say, hey, you're doing this. I wish you would do this.
Mhm.
And if that's not acceptable on their platform, that's that's another conversation to be had. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a scary one. I had a few other developers reach out to me and they're like, "Bro, what just happened?" We had some really interesting conversations, and it really did bring back that exact thing we were talking about, where it's like, yeah, we very very much rely on Meta and their platform right now in the VR
Yeah.
space for any kind of sustainability. So
Sure. Hurry
that
up,
sucks.
Android XR.
Hurry up, Android XR. Freaking, there were some leaks about the Valve Deckard. Have you heard about that headset?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So that's looking promising. One leak said that we might have it released later this year with a price
Cool.
point of $1,200, which isn't affordable, but that's a good headset. It'd be
Yeah.
standalone. So anyway, we need some competition in that space. We definitely need some more platforms to be able to distribute in VR. But yeah, that was sad.
Yeah.
That's Richie's Pike experience. I feel like it was one of the ones in the lab that we showed people as like
Oh
a
yeah.
first experience because we were like, hey, this is great. This shows you what VR is like, and it tricks your brain so crazy. It's insane.
I've used that in demos. Like at one point, I went to a meeting with a bunch of leaders of like a huge organization that Garrett and I participate with, and we were showing them Richie's Plank experience to show them how powerful VR was, and there were a lot of like older women, probably in their like 70s and 80s, most of them. And it was hilarious to see them put on a VR headset and play with Richie's Plank experience because you could see the fear in their eyes, you know? Well, I guess you couldn't. You could see the fear in their bodies the way that they were reacting, though. So it was definitely like it's a super important experience that really pushes users to experience the immersiveness, but also like the psychological effects of VR. Like one of the things I've always been fascinated with VR is it severs that connection between your subconscious and conscious mind, and it makes it so you forget that you're not in a real situation, and your body still reacts like you are in that normal situation. So, um, Richie's Plank experience is one of the best experiences in showing off that weird psychological effect.
It's definitely one of the best like first experiences to just show people how real VR can feel for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I'm scared of heights, so it helped
So that was
me.
double for you.
Yeah,
That's
it
so funny
helped me
because
a
like my
lot.
first time dealing with heights in in VR, I was like, jump, just yeeted.
My knees were shaking.
That's awesome. My L for the week. I had a really good one. Now I can't remember what it was. I feel like I had to do with the VR though. Let me see. I was gonna actually bring up originally the exactly what you said.
Yeah.
The Richie's Plank experience. That is really scary and sad, but nah, you took it, so that's a bummer.
That's why I went first.
One of the interesting things that's kind of an L for the mixed reality or virtual reality mixed reality space. Thrill Seeker just did a Tuesday News Day. First one he's done in a little while, which is
Okay.
kind of fun. And he talked about the current state of VR and Meta again. And one thing he noted, which I had actually started to note as well, is Meta has started erasing the term virtual reality. Like
What are they
they're
saying?
just the mixed reality. They're just calling everything mixed reality.
Oh.
Like everything is mixed reality, which is fine. That's technically an appropriate
Yeah.
term.
Yeah, it's an umbrella.
But like they're not saying virtual reality. And look, Thrill Seeker's idea on this, which was kind of interesting, is he was talking about how um Q4 of 2024,
Mhm.
Meta's Reality Labs had their best quarter ever. Like they had
Really?
the most profit that they had ever reported, but they also reported their biggest amount of loss because they put in some serious R&D stuff.
Yeah.
But they had like one of their most profitable quarters ever. And Thrill was saying that what's problematic about this is it was not due to virtual reality in any
Yeah.
way. It was actually due to their new AI glasses, the stuff that they've been doing with like Ray Bans. That
Yeah.
was the major driver of sales and revenue rather than virtual reality headsets.
Yep.
And that's concerning because obviously, like when it comes to a business, you're going to go where the money flows, right?
Mhm.
And with the AI glasses being the hot commodity, the hot topic right now, it kind of appears that Meta's shift, like focus is shifting, like
Mhm.
towards that more and more. And like as a business owner myself, I can totally understand that. What is like concerning to me though is they're leaving us VR developers kind of on the
In the dark.
wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but frankly, if I were the one in charge, I would totally make like a glasses and a wearable section of
Yeah.
that company and pursue that to the end. That's a great product. That's like really fantastic. There's some great use cases for it. But in the VR sector, like let's separate ourselves, like keep that gaming sector alive, because I mean freaking Gorilla Tag last year made $100 million in revenue.
Yeah.
That's like insanity. And that's obviously like there's money there. And you should learn from those guys and like implement what they ask into like your store and whatnot. And that'll be most advantageous for virtual reality. But instead, it kind of feels like they're taking the entirety of the department of the reality labs and shifting it all towards this like AI smart glasses thing, which is
Yeah.
that's a bummer. That's really concerning as someone who is, an active virtual reality developer on their platform.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah,
To me, the AI glasses are more reminiscent of how I view augmented reality glasses being in the future, if I'm being completely honest.
for
I
sure.
think I think that VR will always be a little bit more niche than AR. When both of the technologies are out and are at their peak, I still feel like augmented reality will be probably more popular.
Oh,
It's
it's
not
more
right now.
applicable to the daily user.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's not right now, right?
No.
Because we don't really have AR glasses. Like the whole AR headset, AR wearables world kind of failed. But this new like Meta Ray-Ban AI stuff is more reminiscent of where I think AR glasses are going to go.
I can
Um,
agree with that.
so to me, like it's exciting. I don't. It, I would have a hard time thinking that they would ever just abandon VR completely because it is another part of this whole world. I don't think that that will ever be gone now that it has grown as much as it has. I think that AR and VR will continue to grow together. I think we're seeing kind of VR's dominance and heyday over augmented reality right now, just because we're not capable of creating augmented reality very well.
Yeah.
Um, so to me, like it's promising of the AR side of the world, and to be honest, I've felt that way since college. Like I wanted VR to be like the big technology, but after experiencing AR in real use cases where it was really like useful with the HoloLens 2 specifically,
Yep.
once it was like a wider viewport, once you could see things better, once they started developing like better content for it, it made me realize how powerful AR was going to be, and my whole mindset kind of shifted. And
Yeah.
now that I'm working with augmented reality on mobile devices, like just it's growing in popularity and increasing like with users and stuff as well. It's been crazy to see like what spectacles has been doing.
Yeah.
Like I've always thought that spectacles were kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Little
They're
niche.
cool. Yeah, a little niche. Not a lot of people are still using them, but this most recent iteration, there has been some crazy applications being built. It is really cool.
And like
So
useful applications too. Like I think was it
yeah,
you who shared with me the fitness one where it took your surroundings and basically made everything into a gym for you,
Yeah.
or like, but like a gamified gym. So it was like there would be blocks coming at you and you had to jump over them, and it was like a
Mhm.
cardio. I've seen some crazy stuff done with spectacles as well.
Well, I saw one or yesterday that was pretty nuts. He was using IoT, so the Internet of Things. He was connecting to his smart devices everywhere.
Hmm.
He put it on, and then his spectacles were able to find an object in his room that had a smart device connected to it. So his lights, it went in and highlighted the lights, and then he made a gesture with his hand, and it turned its lights off from the
That's so
spectacles.
cool. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
like that is awesome. That to
Yep.
me is like the future. Like somebody asked right here, will AR be used in life in general? I don't think that there's a doubt. I think that when the technology is ready, it's not. I
It's
still think
we're
we've got a ways
getting
to go.
close. We're getting close. I would say the Orion spectacles that Meta is working on is the best current prototype of
Oh,
what
for sure.
a great augmented reality wearable would look like.
Yeah.
But like even that is still probably 2 or 3 years away from being like consumer ready.
Oh,
Um,
I'm still saying 5 or 10. I think there are a lot of infrastructural issues that we have
really,
with. Yeah, I still just feel like in a world where everything is so reliant on the internet and being connected constantly, there's still some things that we have to figure out with that. I think we're closer to that than we are about solving security, which is the other big thing that I'm
security and
seeing.
privacy is another huge topic to
Yep,
consider in this. Yeah,
security and privacy. I think that we are behind when it comes to all of the technology that's needed for AR to be mainstream. I feel like security and privacy are the things that we need to focus on more to get it caught up to where everything else is at.
absolutely.
Because like businesses should have the right to opt out of whether or not people are using augmented reality or smart devices in their businesses. And that's just like
It's
as a
hard to
business
enforce.
owner, yeah, how could you turn off like an Meta Ray-Ban headset right now? Like
Yeah.
if you don't want people recording, if you go into a sensitive area like a gym locker room, people should not be able to record. But with the Ray-Ban glasses, all they have right now is like a little
It's a
light that turns on.
little red dot. Which, to be fair, I do commend Meta for making
Yeah.
that move and making
Mhm.
it like a public gesture, whether or not you are recording.
Yep.
And I remember when they first like released this glasses, they actually called out the iPhone, because the iPhone, like when you're recording, there is no indication that
Yep.
you are recording except on the user facing screen.
Mhm.
Which is again, you could argue is a breach of privacy
Yeah.
in some situations. But yeah, with a more ubiquitous and easy to wear device, and especially like it's going to become an even bigger problem when it's like, hey, like I need to wear glasses and my
Yep.
glasses are AI glasses. What do I do? That'll be interesting to see. But I on your internet thing though, I think we're actually closer to solving the internet thing than you think. And the reason is Starlink.
Yeah, for sure. I
So,
I bounce between my grandparents have Starlink now and like it is amazing what it does. My biggest concern is everybody that has it, if we replace phones, everybody's going to have access to internet speeds like Starlink. But the thing about it is like you're not going to want it to buffer at all. If there's any buffering, then you're going to lose augmented reality tracking. So it's
oh
going to
yeah,
be a constant 100% of the time things like data transferring and it's going to be a lot of power. So I don't
I
know.
think that like honestly though, like that would be the best place for that to happen. I've really been interested. T-Mobile just announced that they've teamed up with Starlink to provide even bigger, what do they call it, coverage for their cell phone networks.
Mhm.
And so I actually think that is what's going to happen with internet here soon, is we're just going to shift, because the infrastructure that we have in the ground and whatnot, like yes, fiber is the best possible like access that we
Yeah.
have right now. That is 100% true, but that's limited by the existing infrastructure and putting in that infrastructure.
Yeah.
Whereas the sky's unlimited. We can put as many satellites in the sky as we want. And Elon Musk just keeps firing up more stuff up there, you know? So
Yeah.
like coverage will
That's kind
get
of
good.
dystopian. Like if you think about it. I know it's
But it
not, but
makes sense. There's nothing in the way between you and the
yeah.
sky. Like I have Starlink and I've used it to go stream in some crazy
Yeah.
places. And I've had some like really effective streams
Mhm.
in the wildest places. Like I hiked a mile into a lake up in the Uinta Mountains
Yeah, I
and did a
remember
whole
that.
live stream on the cliff. And like it had some issues, but mostly I actually realized later looking into it that the issues were more because of my laptop and not because of
Mm,
the Starlink like capabilities. So again, I just kind of think that like the sky is just like a much better infrastructure than
for
what
sure.
we got going
The
down
ground.
in the ground. So I think we'll get there fast. And then also, like I think Meta realizes as well, especially with the Orion glasses, like they are fighting the fight against all the other big dogs on
Yeah.
that one. Because, like, I'm sorry, but if Apple were to release like an AI smart glasses, I would be more tempted by that than anything that Meta has
Oh,
released
100%.
because it just works with the Apple ecosystem, you know?
And I feel like privacy is better for most Apple
Oh,
devices anyway than,
the
you know,
encryption and like
yeah.
just, yeah, absolutely. Like Apple's privacy policies and their just privacy practices are incredible and I love them for it.
Mhm.
But I think Meta realizes that like they're one big like chance to slip into that space and be a big player in the next generation of like devices that change everything back. That change everything is going to be to try to get this Orion glasses working and consumer ready before anyone else does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm thinking about getting a pair of the Ray-Bans. One of my dad's friends works at a like a lens manufacturer,
hmm,
and they have agreements with companies that sell frames.
okay.
So he's telling me he could get me a pair of the um, Ray-Bans for like $200 or something. So I'm thinking about just pulling the trigger and getting a pair and trying them out for a little bit to see if they really do improve my life in their current state. The other thing that's kind of scary to me about that setup, though, is they're removing third-party developers completely from the Ray-Ban smart glasses ecosystem. You can't build third-party applications. So in the future, does that mean that there won't be third-party developers for any of Meta's technology that they're building
Mm,
with the smart glasses? Like that is a terrifying thought, and I hope that like you said, there's a ton of competition if they choose to go that route. I hope there's companies that choose to go a different route and allow it and just kind of blow that out of the water. I feel like the same thing probably happened with smartphones, where there were smartphones that didn't allow third party applications to be built. And then, probably like the App Store or something happened. And then we could get third party apps on every single smartphone device. And it's kind of removed that possibility of not having them. But like not having a third party development ecosystem for a product that could be as big, if not bigger than smartphones is kind of a scary thought.
I mean, I don't know. Do you remember the early days of like the iPod Touch and like the
Oh
iPod
yeah.
and like the original iPhones? Do you remember jailbreaking? Like
Oh dude,
that was the whole purpose behind that was to get third party crap on there, right?
I had well, yeah, things that weren't on the App Store. I had a business in high school that
Jailbreaking phones.
yeah, people would pay me to jailbreak their phones and to fix them. So I constantly had like two or three people's cell phones or iPod touches at my house, and I was constantly jailbreaking them or repairing their screens or like doing custom back plates and stuff for people in high school.
Yeah, see, like I think that if anyone decides to go that route where they're like, yeah, we're only gonna do like we're just gonna allow our own, people are gonna jailbreak it, they're gonna get past
Yeah,
it, they're gonna around
that's
it.
true.
And like also as far as like business strategy goes, why would you leave open just this giant like that just leaves this huge market gap for like, oh hey, someone comes in and makes a knockoff version of our application or our product and also allows for third party app like developers?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think again, Apple is very smart about the way that they implement new technology. And right now with the Vision Pro, I think they've done something really interesting where they've made it insanely priced and
Yeah.
like a lot of developers have gotten their hands on it and they've started making some crazy things. They've started making some insane things. And Apple is watching those developers. Like they're definitely watching and they're trying to see who is like what are they doing with it and everything. So like I feel like that's the way to go about it. You have to actually see like what people are using your app for. And if you have again like your own wishes of what you want your app to be, it's not going to work. You have to
Mhm.
push your product towards what consumers are actually going to use it
Yeah,
for or else it's just not going to work.
for
Anyway,
sure.
my brother-in-law actually has a pair of the Ray-Ban glasses and he uses it for his channel. He has a fly fishing channel called
Oh, cool.
I think it's called TAF2 Fly Fishing. I need to figure it
That's
out.
awesome.
But he records a lot of his stuff on his glasses because like he's fishing, so he needs both of his hands. And it's really nice to just be able to be like, hey, Meta, start recording when he's got a fish on the line. And then he
Yeah.
posts about the fish he catches. And he also sells fly fishing stuff. So if you guys are interested in fly fishing, go check it out.
I love fly fishing, but that reminds me a lot of did you read Ready Player 2?
I did.
Just that whole idea of you recording like your own perspective of a bunch of different things and other people being able to experience them.
Yeah.
Like that's exciting. I feel like there's not enough content like that, and to be able to record content like that right now is difficult. Like, have you seen the
Yes.
guys that do there's the guy on social media that does the cold stone videos where he records himself scooping up a cold stone, and like he was a huge thing for a while. He showed his setup and he's got like his phone right here
It's
and he's got
crazy.
like something tethered to him, and
Yep.
or I know what's his name, the big J-Man Curly. I've seen his thing where he had his phone taped to his chest, like the
That's
black
like what
tape
he's
or
famous
whatever.
for is the yellow tape and his phone taped to
Yeah.
his chest just to get
Yeah.
good audio for his
Uh-huh.
recording and like stuff. It's insane. No,
So the glasses like could help so much with content creation. So
content creation and like the technology around it is just like a super fascinating topic. I've been getting into a lot of like streaming, obviously, and there's like so much streaming tech
yeah.
that like go along with this. It's insane. A lot of people comment on my camera, right? Because my camera like follows me sometimes and zooms in.
Hmm.
Like I have a camera that I got specifically because I wanted it to follow me when I was playing VR games, and I found this really cool like AI powered. It's called the OSB bot or something like that.
Okay.
Ozbot, the Ozbot 2 Lite. It's just this little camera that has tracking capabilities. And while I'm playing VR, if I'm running around the room, it'll keep tracking me. And it's been great for streaming and stuff. But yeah, I love the idea of AI smart glasses. I think that's like a cool direction, but
Yeah.
comes with issues for sure. Comes with
Yeah, for
issues.
sure.
But
Well, do we want to jump into chat a little bit today and just chat with chat?
yeah, there's a couple of things. Would it be funny if the camera zoomed in on G's face all the time? You guys want that view all the time? Jeez. This one where it's just literally just.
I mean, that's basically just bread box. You just have a couple parts cut out.
That's true. This is all you see with breadbox anyway. Just get rid of the nose. Oh man. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. I did streaming for a short time. Live is crazy hard to figure out. Yeah, so that is kind of one of the things. We got Arlen Kundrat in there, and he's talking about Live. I do love the company Live because they are trying to make these
Yeah.
awesome tools. But I gotta agree with you, Arlen. Like the Live desktop application is so confusing. And I've noticed that's a lot of the problems with some of the products I've used is just user experience design. Like they have the functionality you want. It's just not easy to get it working,
Yeah.
which is kind of sad. Like,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, it's interesting though. Going back to the topic of like VR content creation, is I'm reading an article right now where VR Chat is now testing drones, dolly
Oh, cool.
cameras, and a desktop webcam mode.
Dude, VR chat is crazy.
I'm actually going to be doing a deep dive into VR Chat here soon because I'm going to be getting full body VR tracking.
Uh-oh.
For the purpose of I want to see if I can recreate Russian Badger what he does.
Oh yeah.
But I think I can do it through VR chat and full body tracking.
Cool.
Because he has this whole short where he talks about like what his his setup costs and how he goes about making his videos. And he has like a $30,000 motion capture suit that he records animations in. So he records these animations and then he goes back into I think it's Source Filmmaker and just he makes in Source Filmmaker, he makes his like the actual animations and his actual recordings, and then he goes and edits it in like a third party. So it's like all these different steps. And I'm like, I bet you I could do the motion capture for animations in virtual reality chat. And I don't know. I want to try it. I'm gonna mess around with it. I might make a few videos using that style and see how it goes.
Cool.
So you're right, Taxolotl. I might need an avatar. Might need a Gooner bait worthy avatar.
You got to get the bread box head with big
bread
old
box head. No, I'd probably make an avatar that looks like my my logo. It says like TV head on a suit. I think that's the coolest look.
With a big butt.
Big old booty. Just absolutely caked out cheeks. Y'all know it.
Oh, that's
If you want to do
funny.
animations like the Russian Badger for Breadbox, we highly support you. All right. I like Cyberfields. Good to know. Good to know.
Show me the money. Just kidding.
No. Skibidi toilet. No, we're not going there. Jeez. Russian Badger is super. No, that is the cool thing. Like I've done kind of a deep dive, not necessarily deep dive, but I've been exploring because I am to an extent a VTuber, right? Because I have this
That's
whole bread
kind of
box.
technically true. That's funny.
Kind of technically true. It's kind of, but what I'm realizing is there's kind of this market for people who want to do VTubing, but not the anime
Yeah.
VTubing, right? Like most people who VTube use like very anime-esque things. And there's
Mhm.
a lot of people like me who would like, I would love to do my videos in the format of Russian Badger, where it's like, I'm not an anime character, but I am a character from one of my favorite video games. And I'm
Yeah.
expressing like what I want to express using that. So,
One of my favorite YouTubers for a long time, I used to watch him a lot. His name's BoxBox. He did League of Legends videos, and
hmm.
now he does a lot of videos for a game called Team Fight Tactics, which is like a League of Legends spinoff.
That's the one that's,
Um,
like, highly involved with Arcane storyline now, right?
yeah, they did a season where it was like very arcane driven. They let's see, he had a interesting VTuber that they made for him, where it was. I mean, it's a box. It's like a cardboard box, and then he would just press different money or different buttons, and it would just change the faces on the screen. So it wasn't like living off of the face of the person that was using it, but it was like slowly changing from one face to another face with like pose animations and stuff. It was pretty cool.
That's
It,
cool.
it's interesting one. So
There's a guy I follow on TikTok right now where he
mhm.
streams as a blue Lego guy, which is the coolest thing to me because he figured out, and I know he uses Unity because he's given a
Yeah,
couple of behind the scene things, but he uses Unity and does like a live face capture, and it actually does the facial expressions on the Lego face in like that Lego style, which I've just been sitting here like, I want to figure out how to do that. That'd be so cool, you
yeah,
know? But again, like going back to like the VTubing, I feel like a lot of more people would get into VTubing, and especially like in this age of privacy and whatnot, VTubing is comfortable for a lot of people who don't necessarily want to show
yeah,
their face, right? And like, I don't blame people. It's weird having millions and millions of people see your face. I
yeah,
can attest. It's kind of strange. But like, I feel like if there was more, like, I don't want to say normal, but like more common avatars for people to express themselves as, it
yeah,
would become a much bigger industry than it already is. And
yeah.
this guy, I can't remember what his name is, but he does it with a Lego character. It's like, that's awesome. Like, I
Yeah,
wish like
that's fun.
Lego would come up with like a whole streaming app that you could like make your own Lego guy and have it do the faces. Like, that'd be awesome. That'd be so cool.
Arlen brought up Fia. I don't know if you've seen Fia. I
Yeah.
saw her in sh- let's see, Thrill and Fia did a cool um
I believe they're
event
dating.
that I watched. Yeah, 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 they are.
Yeah.
Sophia was like the lead of this huge event that I watched when I was working at Continuum. Um, it was a workshop where they both led different things about the VR chat, and we went into like Thrill Seekers Club that he had made, and Fia's new place where they did the talk show, and what she does a lot of really good, yeah, VTubing. I think Code Miko is probably like the pinnacle VTuber with like the way that it tracks to her and stuff. It's pretty
Yeah. She
nuts to
has a
see.
crazy setup. Yeah.
There's another VTuber that's huge right now. Um,
I know of
it's an
some.
interesting industry, honestly.
There's a, what's the one that I know of? I've seen
Iron
Code Miko.
Mouse.
Code Miko is really cool.
Yeah.
She does a lot of cool stuff. Who's the other one you mentioned?
Iron Mouse. I feel like at one point, so there's been a huge battle for the biggest um like streamer on Twitch, I want to say, like the most followed. It was Kai Cenat for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Iron Mouse came and became the highest subscribed to streamer on Twitch for a little bit. And then Kai Cenat won it back. But it's just crazy that like she was so popular for so long too.
It's such an interesting. There's actually a really cool VR app that I tried recently that was attempting to be kind of what I was saying, where you could upload any avatar essentially, and it would allow you to basically record VTubing content. But they locked a lot of it behind like paywall stuff, which was kind of unfortunate. Um, God, I'm trying to find this guy that I've been following because he's the coolest. He has like the coolest VTubing setup with the whole. Again, like looking at Iron Mouse, like she's very much an anime inspired character, which like I got
Yeah,
nothing against anime. I love anime. Like it's
yeah,
cool. But I do feel like more people would not express themselves in the anime way if they
for
had the
sure.
chance.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
it's just something to consider. What is this guy's name? Pixel Fire Games. That's his name.
Okay.
Super cool. Here, I'll send you a clip. You can see like the craziness that he has with his setup, and I make just an app of that.
Oh,
Like
that's cool.
so cool. You got to show chat his blue Lego guy. It's so
Yeah, let me
sick.
pull it up.
Anyway, Pixel Fire Studios, good stuff. I know he does it with Unity, which is super cool. But
you guys can change my skin, where you can change me to Emmett or change.
so like, look at that. Like he's just straight up a Lego guy, and he has it linked in with like Twitch, such that like chat can actually change the way like what he is being represented on.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's so
I've
cool.
wanted to make chat bots and Twitch bots and stuff for a
They're
while.
tricky.
I think it would be a ton of fun though.
Yeah. And like, I'm sorry, but like this streaming space is still a giant
It's like the Wild West.
well, there's so many needs still. Like I
Yeah,
didn't realize this, but the first time anyone ever used a what's it fetching called? A DSLR camera on like a live stream to show their face is
yeah,
within the last 10 years.
yeah.
Like that, like there's still so much to do. And I actually, one of the companies who invested in Sail VR got a lot of their initial funding because they sold their platform that they had made prior to Twitch, and then they
Mm,
decided to become a venture capital firm.
gotcha.
So like there's money there. It's a really cool space. I super enjoy streaming. I have a lot of fun with it. It's so fun to interact with the community like that. But like there needs to be more tools. There needs to be more ways for like chat to interact with each other and with the streamer. It's just man, there's so much there.
Yeah, that's. I feel like it is such an interesting industry still. I feel like it's not as popular as it was during COVID, obviously, because COVID was a weird time.
COVID was a big surgence of a lot of new streamers because they like
Yeah,
were like, I don't know what else to do because I'm locked in my house. I guess we'll get online and talk to each other. Yeah, no, for sure.
to me, Twitch is still probably the best streaming platform. I know TikTok has good streaming. Like live streaming selling things is so interesting to me. Have you seen like
That's
the
like a big thing
Chinese selling
on
farms
Amazon.
and stuff?
I've seen that
Yeah,
on Amazon.
they've been when Twitch was getting banned, that's what a lot of people were worrying about is the e-commerce side of or not Twitch, TikTok. When
Yeah.
I was getting banned, it was the e-commerce side and like live selling. It's basically like what your grandparents used to watch on QVC. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It's
No, I
QVC,
totally
but for
forgot
the new
about that.
generation. Like,
Yeah, it's QVC, but for freaking millennials or Gen Z and Gen
yeah.
Alpha. Uh, no, it is a weird thing. I have never understood those. Like you get on there and you're basically trying to sell a product. I'm
Yeah, but
not
people
super
do
about
it
that. People do it.
through TikTok lives now. It's crazy.
TikTok is really cool because they have a lot of really awesome tools and stuff for like creators and for creators to get paid through TikTok and for like companies to reach creators. I could go off for a long time about all the cool stuff that TikTok is doing, but TikTok does not play nice with others. We are actually live on TikTok, so hi TikTok
Heck
people.
yeah. Welcome, TikTok.
We
We
have
can't
been
see the stats.
can't see the stats on you. I think I'll open it up on my screen. We've got 13 viewers on TikTok. Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's over 50.
Oh, that's more than one. More
Heck
than
yeah.
the bot that we pay to be in there. Just kidding.
Uh-oh.
I didn't pay for it. Did you pay for it?
Taxolotl's the bot. Don't tell
Taxolot's
him.
the real bot.
He doesn't know that. He
What
thinks
gen
he's
am
a
I? Dude?
human.
I don't even know what gen I am. Freaking Taxolot.
We're millennials.
Are we millennials?
We're the end of millennials, man. 95. You're 96, right?
What is the next one? It's like Gen Z is the next one.
Yeah, Gen Z.
The problem is I don't really I don't feel like I fit in with either generation. So I'm gonna start calling myself a zillennial. Too old to be a Gen Z, too young to be a millennial.
No, I'm a basic millennial girl. I like my pumpkin spice and my winter clothes and my
Great.
hoodies, big
My
hoodies.
hoodies. Hey, I'll rock a hoodie any day. Love those. Are we near Las Vegas? Man, some interesting questions in chat today, gentlemen. Goodness. Yeah. So, when can we get to game recommendations? Because there's some new games that have been coming
let's
up. And I
jump
want to
into
get into
game
this.
recommendations. I want to hear about the video games that you played this week.
Okay.
This is for people that don't normally jump into chat during the podcast, and you know Garrett for his video game streaming. Garrett is a what do you call an FPS?
FPS whore. I am an
Yeah,
FPS
FPS
whore.
whore.
Like I
Only
just
plays
love
FPSs.
first-person shooters. I play Helldivers though, which is technically a
Yeah.
third-person shooter. So I branch out every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah, a branch.
But like platformers have never really been my thing. I have been playing card games though. I've been playing
There you go.
Balatro. I beat the first deck finally. It only took me 3 months. So proud of myself.
Garrett, does not reach out of his comfort zone when it comes to video games very often. I play a lot of different things, so
Declan is the dabbler. I am the FPS dabbler.
but let's hear about what you played.
Okay, so I found a game that is
Okay.
called Furnish Master. So let me see if I can
Okay.
share with you the store page on Steam. What it is it is an interior designing game. That is one of the coolest things I have played in a long time.
No, he's playing Roblox games now.
No. Furnish Master. Okay, here's the link to it. I'll send it over to Declan so you guys can see it as well. But basically, there's a story mode in this game, which is kind of fun, where you have to actually design things out for people, and they ask for certain things and stuff. But what is way cool about this is they have a sandbox mode where you can literally recreate the dimensions of your whatever room you want, and they just have this giant plethora of objects you can mess with to design your room. And so what I have been using this for is I've been wanting to make some updates to my setup and my office. And so I literally have a 1-for-1 scale of my office right now in this game.
Goodness.
And I've been messing around with different setups and different angles because I can literally see all of them in this game. And you can mess around with colors and lighting and stuff. It is so much fun. I literally got up early this morning to get on here and get on this game and mess around with it more. That's how cool I've been thinking this game is.
Garrett thinks he's playing video games. What the heck, dude?
This is a game. This is a game.
He's basically the online shopping.
It has achievements for how many stuff you put into the game. Anyway, I've been having a ton of fun with it.
That's
and
interesting.
I want to get on stream and mess around with stuff so that chat can help me with my setup. But it's so cool. It's such a fun, unique thing. I used to play when I was really little. My family, we played Sims and stuff. And my favorite thing is there was this infinite money cheat code you could put in, and then you could just build these cool houses. And I was like, oh man, I used to do that a ton, and I forgot about that. And then I found this game. It was actually recommended to me on TikTok from this really cool channel that recommends obscure Steam games.
Okay.
And yeah, so now I'm working on my office remodel in this app, which is so sick.
So I'm laughing at this, right? I did see something though that I thought was super interesting, and it made me think. I just saw the video right here. They had, where is it? The scene where they're building the arcade.
Yep.
It reminded me of when we were designing Self-Aid Arcade. And then I got the idea this could actually be super dope for prototyping VR environments. I don't know if you've thought about that yet, but can you imagine prototyping VR environments in this? Because it has all these assets that are available. You can really get a good feel for laying out just a scene in VR and something like this, and have a way to actually show people what you're talking about.
There's actually an app that we use quite frequently here at Red Team called Shapes XR. That is kind of similar to that, where we do exactly that. We lay out using very basic shapes, different things that we need to make for a game and whatnot. And Taxolotl saying revive Stealth 8 Arcade. We'll bring it back.
Somebody shared the link. the
No
other
way.
day in the Discord.
Let's go. I think that was General Milo. What a legend.
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm so proud of the infinite runner I created in that game. It's so fun. Like, if you guys haven't checked out Stealth 8 Arcade's Tsunami Runner, I'm so proud of that game. I might remake that. That's a fun one. Anyway, basically, what was I saying? Oh, Shapes XR does exactly that. But what I love
Yeah.
about this one is it's all stylized. This has been one of my big problems. Is a lot of those like prototyping apps, like they definitely lean into the prototyping. This is all stylized, and they've made it specifically stylized for the sake of like you're supposed to take screenshots and like share them and
Cool.
stuff. And it's like it's more fun to share because it's pretty.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to get on stream and have chat help me out with like my setup, because I really do think that like they would be able to see and get an idea for how I want my setup to look if we can get it that way, you know? So
That's cool.
super cool game. Highly recommend it. It's $14 on Steam, but I've been using it a ton. And I was showing it to my wife the other night, and she was like, man, we could use that to like prototype out a lot of different rooms in our house. And I was like, yeah, like you can put in the exact dimensions of your room and just literally mess around with like moving furniture without actually having to like move furniture and stuff. So anyway.
Cool. Yeah. That's interesting. 6 hours of Furnish Master stream.
6 hour stream. Let's go. Let's hit it.
Oh, before I give my recommendation, I just saw a question that I really liked. Somebody noticed the disc golf discs behind me.
Oh dear.
Michael Bay.
We're gone.
What brand of discs do you like? Like best. I'm trying to get better at disc golf. These are all Clash discs.
Clash discs.
My favorite brand. I really like Clash. It's a Finnish brand. They have the best plastic in the game.
In business.
I did for probably a year. I haven't bought discs in a while, but yeah, those are all Clash discs. I really like Infinite Discs too, which is a manufacturer from Utah. They have a lot of old Innova molds, and they are manufactured by Innova, but their plastic is better than Innova. So, just a quick disc golf plug. Okay, I wanted to recommend a game. People are talking about Zelda. Today I'm recommending an old game and a new game.
Okay.
One of the video games. Actually, screw it. I'll recommend just 2 old games. I've been having a hard time thinking about a new game. I'll recommend 2 old games. One of the games that kind of created my love of video games that I played. I've probably played it 20 or 30 times now in my life. I had the Jungle Green Nintendo 64. And for anybody who's a Nintendo 64 person, that's the transparent green one that you can't buy for less than like $800 now from all the collectors, because there's like a limited run of them. I freaking love. I regret selling my Nintendo 64, but I played the heck out of the Ocarina of Time, Zelda and the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Zelda and the Ocarina of Time, you are doing yourself a disservice. That is like video gaming history at its finest. If you want to get an appreciation for like where adventure games come from, one of the first really good open world, I would call it, because it is very open world.
Yep.
Jumping into Zelda Ocarina of Time is like amazing to see some of the original game design for open world games and for like puzzle games, like puzzle adventure games. I feel like that kind of defined that genre, and it's still really one of the best in like creating puzzle dungeons and stuff. Taxolotl, that is a hot take. I do like Majora's Mask too. There's something about, I loved Ocarina of Time. I had both of them. I played both of them, and I just fell in love with it in Ocarina of Time. And it's been one of my favorite video game franchises ever since then. So,
my wife is super into what's it called? Wind Waker. That's her preferred.
Wind Waker is really good too. I would say my top 2 are Ocarina, then Wind Waker, then Majora's.
I never played the original ones, but my wife has played the Wind Waker, and I did a lot of research into Wind Waker when I first started making Cell VR, because a lot of people said like, hey, like there's a lot of cool things from Wind Waker you could potentially implement in Cell VR. So that's a game I looked at. Still haven't played it because it's kind of hard to get a hold of. I tried to buy it for my wife for like
That's
her
the
birthday
only
present.
problem. Yeah.
Hard. It's like impossible to get a hold of, which is a
I'm
bummer.
waiting for the Switch to get a GameCube emulator. It has to happen eventually.
Please.
But if you have a Switch and you haven't played Nintendo, or if you haven't played Ocarina of Time, then pay for the Nintendo service for like a month. I think it's like $10. You can get the online for a month, but you get the Nintendo 64 emulation that is built into the Switch, and you can play Ocarina of Time on your Switch. It's worth it. And they do some quality of life stuff that if I remember correctly, they do some quality of life stuff that helps out with the gameplay a little bit. But
all right.
And don't get pissed at me when you get to the water temple. Just I'm throwing it out there. Super frustrating, super difficult. I remember having to go to GameStop as a young child and buying a paper manual that was a guide on how to beat the water temple. So I had a paper book that I had to go by because we didn't have internets and video game guides on the internets back then. But
the old days when you had to buy
heck yeah, dude.
book. Good old days. Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom above Ocarina. Okay, Texalotl. Oh my gosh. What the fuss?
Oh man. The other game. So there was a couple of games that were announced this week at the VR game showcase happened this week. I did watch it. There was a couple things that I was super excited about. The biggest one that I am so stoked about is called Forefront VR.
Okay.
So Forefront VR is from the same studio that brought us Breachers and Hyperdash.
Cool.
And it is going to be Battlefield in virtual reality.
Cool.
It's 32v32 simulated battles with tanks and jeeps, and holy crap, am I excited for it. And like the reason I am so excited for it is because of that studio, right? Like Breachers is like, I always tell people, if you want to play Rainbow Six Siege in VR, go play Breachers. That is literally what it is. And now they're making they made Hyperdash before that. And the thing about this company, which is awesome, is they have always made just the highest of quality products.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I played the beta of Hyperdash, and it was such a good game even back then. And then I played the beta of Breachers, and it was such a good thing back then. And I actually got to talk to the devs at Oculus Connect a year ago. And like they like had specifically, they told me all about their launch strategy, which like they had put in tons of time and effort into figuring out exactly how they wanted to go to launch. Incredible team. They only do the best. And they talk a lot about how like their biggest enemy is like motion sickness. And they don't do anything unless they know it's going to be as accessible for all players as possible. So like, I'm so curious to see how they're going to do the vehicles in this game, because typically speaking, vehicles just make people so sick in virtual reality. And so if they're going to like try to take it on, I just know they're going to do something great with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just sent you the trailer, Declan. Like it just looks, oh man, I'm so excited for it. Not a better studio I could recommend to be taking on the challenge of making a 32v32 freaking Battlefield game in virtual reality. And I'm stoked for it.
Let's throw this up here.
I mean, look at this. Like they've got helicopters.
That looks dope.
Tanks. They've got the whole, like you can see right there, you've got the different squad members. You've got freaking someone who's an engineer, a medic. You've got like the same formula as Battlefield.
Yeah.
And like, oh,
I'd jump on here and play this with you. I got to get some of that sniper bread box.
Dude, sniping is my jam. FPF to the max. Like, yeah, they got like sea-doos. They're gonna have like land and
that's awesome.
Like sea combat. I'm just so excited to see where they take this. And they've just always done a good job with virtual reality games, making them like accessible and easy to play and easy to get into. And I'm just like, yes, sir, I'm here for it. So really, really excited about this game coming out. The playtesting starts. They said that they're gonna start playtesting it this summer. So it's probably not going to come out until next year, but they're really good about free public testing. They get the community involved early, which is awesome. So anyway, that is coming soon, and I'm so excited for it. You can join their Discord right now if you go to forefront.com slash Discord, I think is what it is. It'll take you to their Discord. So get in there if you want to be a part of their beta testing group. They're
Looks
awesome.
fun.
I love Triangle Factory. They're a great company. They make good stuff, and I'm so excited for that game.
Is that your second recommendation? What are you just throwing that out there?
I'm throwing that out there as like a recommendation to like go and follow that. If I had to give another recommendation of a game to go play this week, there's a game that just released from another good studio. If you guys know the studio, Sin Studio, I have a lot of their stuff. They're good friends of mine, but they just released in early access their new game, which is called Battlegrounds VR, which is like a medieval fighting game, and it's awesome.
Fun.
Yep, it's in the top 50 meta games right now. It's fantastic. It's free to play. It's a ton of fun. I'm gonna jump into it. I've been following like the development pretty closely because they've been kind of talking to me about potentially doing a promotion for them.
Cool.
But I'm gonna actually jump into it hopefully later today. We'll see. I've got some stuff I got to do for Red Team first, but anyway, that's another great one. I'm pretty sure it's called Battlegrounds VR. Free to play medieval fighting game, and it's awesome, and I love the team behind it too, so can definitely vouch for them. So there's another game recommendation for you guys. VR free to play games. Everyone's always asking me for those, so there you
go. My last game recommendation is another classic. If you like kart racers, this is one that
with Mario in it.
No, I say suck it to Mario, dude. Mario can suck it. It's all about Diddy Kong Racing for the Nintendo 64.
Ooh, there's a name I haven't heard in a
best kart racer ever made.
What? Blasphemy, says Taxolotl. Blasphemy.
No, dude. Diddy Kong Racing was so good. You could have a boat, you could have a plane, you got a car. I love the characters. Diddy Kong, like the Donkey Kong world and all the Donkey Kong characters are so underrated. I really loved like Donkey Kong 64 was one of my favorite games ever. Open world, kind of like Mario 64. Mario 64 got all the love though. Donkey Kong 64 was just as much fun. You shoot freaking peanuts out of a gun when you're playing as Diddy Kong. You got Cranky Kong, Tiny Kong, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, like classic Donkey Kong characters. But yeah, Diddy Kong Racing is super underrated and such a fun campaign that you got there.
Is that another one you can play on the Nintendo 64 emulator on Switch nowadays, or
how
do you get it?
I have no idea.
Excellent. Here's a recommendation for a game you can't play.
Don't illegally play it on an emulator anywhere online. We don't recommend that. That's not
for our
good.
Listeners online, Declan is winking vigorously. It's as if he has something in his eye.
Yeah, don't emulate that game. It's a ton of fun though.
Don't emulate it. Piracy is bad.
Yeah.
I disavow anything that Declan has said in this podcast. All right, I'm legally covered. Did you say what you want? Oh no, that's a good one. I love the classic games. I know some people like don't love like the whole remasters thing trend that's going on right now, but like I'm kind of for it because I'm like I just want stuff to work on what we have nowadays. Okay, like, they just remastered like the Battlefronts, and I love them. They're so great.
There's a difference to me in the remastering trend going on right now with like remaking freaking what's it called? The game Ellie and Joel, what's that game called? That had
Last of Us.
Yeah, freaking remaking Last of Us.
Yeah.
That's stupid. But go back and like remake Donkey Kong 64, like Diddy Kong Racing. Like go back maybe like 20 years or something like. Oh my gosh. Go back 30 years. We're old, dude. What the fuss? That was like 90s.
Rip.
Go back 30 years, I guess, somewhere between 20 and 30 years, and remake those games that people loved. Like Gex. Gex is another game that I used to play. I did see they remade Glover, which I am super happy with. Glover was another Nintendo 64 game. You play as a glove. So you're the glove of a magician, and you come to life, and the magician dies because the other glove, I believe, is the antagonist, and he kills the magician.
Ah,
So Glover basically is a living glove, and you have a rubber or a red rubber ball that you can change into a bunch of different shapes, and that's how you platform through the world. So you're
platformer.
platforming as
I
this
have no
glove.
interest.
No, it's a weird platformer, but like it's another classic for me. I used to play Glover all the time growing up,
Clever.
but they remade that one, so Glover is now rebuilt for consoles nowadays.
Looks like it's also available on Steam. Yeah.
Yeah, they rebuilt it for Steam.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. No, it's interesting. Like I have this arcade controller back here, and one of the things that they're bragging about is there's like a bunch of like retro arcade games you can play, like in basically the way that you're supposed to play them. But I've had a hard time trying to get that set up. It's not very easy. Again, going back to what we talked about earlier, like there's a lot of
Yeah.
really cool tech out there that just has really poor user experience design. So I never really got it working with anything, but I didn't try like extremely hard. I tried like what I would expect like a normal amount of try would be, but there are definitely some old games that are fun
Yeah.
that deserve their limelight restored.
Well, I've heard that they're making like a Nintendo 64 console that you can play a bunch of the old stuff with again. I hope that's true.
Would
I
love to
think
see
we're
it.
getting to the era where our age group is now the ones that are young and working hard and might have some extra money to spend on nostalgia buys. So the marketing people are going to start targeting us now instead of people that born a little bit before us. Like I feel like the 80s were a huge nostalgia thing for a little bit.
For
But we're
sure.
getting to the point where like when I was a kid, the 80s were the oldies, right? That
Yep.
was in the 2000s. Now it's 2022 and the 2000s were the oldies. So,
We're
which if you
getting
think
into the
about that,
90s nostalgia.
yeah, well, like Linkin Park is like classic rock now, if you think about it. That's crazy, right? In the 2000s, classic rock was hair metal from the 80s. That was
Excellent.
20 years before. 20 years before now is the Linkin Park era. So just think about that. But
Welcome to the We're Getting Older podcast, where we talk about what's not practically reality, but what was once a reality. Nostalgia
yes.
101.
So start marketing towards me and start remaking the games that I love.
Yeah, for all the big companies who are listening, we have money now. We can spend it on dumb things, like this Clone Trooper helmet that I got. I'm so proud of it. Look at that thing; it's so sick. Anyway,
That is sick.
I have adult money that I can spend on childish things.
I don't. I'm poor.
Adult money.
As I say, as I have. Oh, that's a knife.
As you have enough disc golf things to like,
And not my Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
that's why you're poor, Declan. Not because
Ah,
you lack money.
crap.
It's what you spend it on. Anyway, all right. Good stuff, boys. Good stuff. Any last minute questions from you, chat? Otherwise, I think we have gone. Oh, we've got well over the hour. Goodness.
Yeah, we just chatted a little bit today.
Good chats though. Lots of interesting things happening in the world of tech and gaming.
Yeah, next week's going to be even more interesting. We're not 100% sure if Garrett's going to GDC. We talked about this at the beginning. So we might adjust our streaming schedule if he will be at GDC, or maybe we'll have live from GDC. But
We shall see.
we'll keep you guys up to date on what's going to happen with the podcast next week.
Yeah, so if you're a part of the Discord, I just created a new role in the Garrett the Gamer Discord for the podcast, so you guys can get
Ooh.
pinged about the podcast when we go live and stuff. We'll start using that here soon. So anyway, join the Garrett the Gamer podcast. Link in the description, bio, whatever it is down there.
If I'm already a part of the podcast, how do I get the new role? Or a part of the Discord?
It's
how do
in
I
the
get new
roles section now. I just updated the role section, so there should be a new emoji that you can react to that will allow you to get that. Oh wait, didn't update. Goodness gracious. Never mind. False alarm. Garrett didn't press
Snapchat?
save.
Not yet. Not yet.
Garrett forgot to press save when he was doing things this morning, and his ADHD took over.
Classic programmer.
Classic. So annoying. So many things I need to do. Like I have a list of things I need to do, and I forget that I need to do them because I start working on something else. Rip. Alrighty. Let's see. Reaction roll. I'll add it right now. It'll be added right now.
Watching in real time.
Okay, wait. It's gonna take a little longer than that.
Oh.
Podcast, and then we need to update this.
Yeah, they really want you to play Mr. Krabs Tax Evasion.
Mr. Krabs Tax Evasion. What the cuss is that?
I have no idea. Some probably like Mr. Krabs does ketamine or whatever. That was a game too.
Jeez.
It's an itch.io game.
Oh, I don't. Oh. All right, let's see if this works. Dang it, that's not how you spell microphone. How do you spell microphone?
Boom. Clicked it.
Studio microphone. Microphone 2. Wow. So specific.
Declan versus Garrett lifting competition. It's been a minute, boys.
It has
I used to work out a lot, but I'm kind of fat now, so.
My wife actually just made kind of a simple home gym. It's
Heck
been
yeah.
pretty nice.
Nice.
It's very basic, just some basic like dumbbells and some lifting. There it is. Okay, it's there, guys. In the Discord, you can now get the podcast roll, and we can ping you about podcast notifications. Huzzah and such. Nice. Well,
Sick. We're in there.
we're there. Hey, what stream software are you using to put all the Twitch NYT users in one chat? Well, we use a thing called restream.io. It's pretty awesome. It does have a pretty steep price increase for certain things that you want, which is kind of unfortunate. When I stream normally, I just use what's called ATM. I think it's called ATM Restream. So that's how I stream in multiple places. But restream.io is pretty awesome. It's all contained within the browser and whatnot. And it's really good at getting the bit rates right, which is one thing that I struggle with in OBS because you have to control that manually. So
Oh, that's crazy.
Mr. Trab's tax evasion. Jeez. I gotta look this up.
Yeah, it's on itch.io. Dude, itch.io is crazy. I love it, but they got some crazy crap on there.
Steel Flex Studio. Mr. Krabs on the run. What is this, bro? What the freak?
Hey, it's your genre, third-person shooter.
Is he what the heck? I'm looking at the trailer right now and he's like GTA but Mr. Krabs.
I think you might have to play it.
What the crap, dude? They're shooting letters at him and you have to evade the taxes. Oh my gosh. This is so funny. Tax notice. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Perchance I will download that for sure. Not virus-filled file.
Yeah, you should do a bunch of a huge variety stream one day where you just play a shiz ton of a random stuff on itch and on crazygames.com and
that's what I want to do. Is I want to do a stream where I go into all of the freaking browser games that I used to play and see if I can still play them.
I tried publishing to a browser game company recently. It's pretty difficult to get on there. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't put a ton of effort into it. I was just kind of trying to iframe in one of the games that I made on Niantic Studio to just see if I could get it on there. And they really curate those games. They take time to go through every single game and make sure that it meets their quality standards before they put them on there.
I mean, I respect that, but at the same time, it's kind of okay, if you're gonna. This is exactly what happened with virtual reality. Is Meta was so careful about what they let onto their store, and it kind of resulted in just not.
Well, they update a lot. crazygames.com and the other big one is called Pokey. So if you're gonna go play online games, those are the two sites you need to get on. Pokey and Crazy Games.
Crazygames.com. Jeez, sounds like funmathgames.com.
Pretty much.
Love it.
Except they're all crappy mobile games.
brings me back.
Well, cool guys. We are gonna end the podcast here. It's been fun. And again, we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on next week. Go to the Discord and click the mic button in the Rolls channel to get news about the podcast.
When we're going live, news and stuff like that, all happening there. And if you didn't catch us today live, you can always catch us tomorrow on Spotify or any place you get your podcasting stuff. We put this out the day after, so definitely go and check us out there. And then we go live typically Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Again, we don't know what's going to happen next week, but 1 p.m. Pacific time, guys, is what time we usually go live on Wednesdays. And we talk about news, gaming, and all that stuff. We're gonna have one of the lead developers of Sail come on pretty soon here. Might not be next week, probably maybe the week after that. No promises. Getting guests on this podcast has been a nightmare. But anyway, that is all from us, guys. If you got any questions for us, hit us up in the Discord. We'd love to hear what topics you want us to talk about. But
Yeah.
we will talk later, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.